Everywhere on YouTube, all I see is people getting cheap views, talking about modern gaming and how bad it sucks. So I want to defend it. I want to give 2 cents on why the gaming industry is like it is right now. Not giving excuses for games like Fallout 76 or Cyberpunk or you name it. Clearly there are tons of terrible games in the last few years. Gen 8 has been a terrible generation. Period. No arguments. But this isn't the first time that we've gone through this. At all. By a long shot. Every time we have a new leap in technology, this is what happens. We have tons of terrible games that come out. Let's look at the original arcade games. We started out with Pong, the most successful game at that time. There was definitely games arguably back in the 50s, but nobody heard of a game until Pong. Pong changed the world. But it was simple. It wasn't elaborate. There was not too much going on in it, but just the fact that it worked and that it was so accessible and easy to understand, people just gravitated to it. As we went through arcades, they became phenomenal, but not all of them were gems. Then we got to home gaming.
My son Boris has a missile command problem.
My mission in life is to save all of mankind.
Lately, my daughter has developed a similar problem with Atari Warlords. Now with video pinball, my husband is acting funny lately. With Atari games so ingenious, so involving, so intense, I ask you, Atari Anonymous, is this problem contagious?
Same thing. The Atari was not that great. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I don't enjoy some Atari games, but I can only play Ghostbusters for the fact that it's Ghostbusters. And the name alone keeps me entertained while I try to suffer through that game. And honestly, if it wasn't for the angry video game nerd, I probably would never have gave those games a chance. Because, I mean, it is what it is. You look at them, they're self-explanatory. But then we go to the NES, and home consoles start to gravitate to a whole new level. Mario changed the world. Zelda changed the world. These games were pivotal, and we wouldn't have had them if it wasn't for the Atari, which brought everything to the home consoles. We move on through the home console generations, we get to the Super Nintendo and things of that nature, the Game Boy. Things were getting amazing. Arguably, the original Game Boy was the same type of situation. The games were barely playable, but they worked and they got the job done. People still enjoyed it. But then we enter 3D gaming. 3D gaming at the beginning was not that great. Now there were some classics, just like Pong. They're gonna stand out. Mario 64 is amazing forever. Nobody will deny that. Playing Smash Bros on the 64 is amazing to this day, forever. But there are tons of games from that era that do not hold up. They just don't. But once we entered the PS2 and the Xbox era, amazing. Playing Halo back then, not now, sorry, but back then, yeah, it was great. It was probably one of the best experiences that you could have. Playing Grand Theft Auto back then, especially Vice City, amazing.
Fool! Fool! Tommy!
What, Ricardo?
These idiots, they're always trying to screw you. That's the problem with this business. What do you think you're doing?
So, we progress. We keep going forward. Things keep getting better. But then we enter 4K gaming. Modern gaming.
Your whole life you've been searching. And the elders, they've been holding you back.
The girl is a curse. from nowhere.
It's a leap. It's a bounds that they have not even attempted before this. To get things to this resolution, to try to make it hyper real. They're figuring it out. They're going to attempt to make a shot that's not going to play out the way they intended. That does not mean that modern gaming is something that we should give up on. It means that we as fans need to accept that right now modern gaming is going through a time. That if we want to move from this, we have to support them. Keep giving them their feedback. Don't allow them to put out terrible games and expect to just give an update that's going to allow us to play it eventually. That's not acceptable. But at the same time, modern gaming, it's a situation of video games not keeping up with technology, which is an age-old tale since the 70s. I think that Gen 9, what we're approaching, what we are getting into now with the Xbox Series X, with the PS5, I think that this is going to be like the PS2 era for 3D gaming. I think it's going to be good. I don't think it's going to be perfect. It's not going to be like what the 360 was for that era of 3D gaming, but it's going to be like the PS2 era. It's going to be good. And then once we enter the next gen, it's going to be phenomenal.